The ordinary neighbor, the hidden monster. A chilling thought, isn't it? We lock our doors, check our windows, and scan the shadows. Yet sometimes, the true terror resides just beyond our picket fence, behind a smile we've seen 1,000 times. Imagine a life lived in suburban tranquility, a routine of morning coffee, polite waves across the street, and the comforting hum of everyday existence. Now, shatter that image. What if the man who retrieves your runaway frisbee, the woman who bakes cookies for the neighborhood potluck, or the quiet soul tending their garden holds a darkness so profound, so utterly depraved, it defies comprehension? This isn't fiction. This is the unsettling truth of those who walk among us, their monstrous secrets hidden in plain sight. Tonight we delve into the chilling reality of the monster next door, exploring the lives of serial killers who masterfully blended into the fabric of society, their true nature concealed by a mask of normalcy. What makes a seemingly ordinary individual capable of such unspeakable horrors? How do they maintain their facade, year after year, sometimes even decades? The answers are often more disturbing than the crimes themselves. Our journey begins in the seemingly idyllic suburbs of Wichita, Kansas, in the 1970s. The name Dennis Rader might not immediately strike fear into your heart, but for a generation, he was the embodiment of terror. BTK. Bind, torture, kill. For 31 years, Rader lived a double life, a chilling testament to the deceptive power of appearances. To his neighbors, he was a devoted husband, a father of two, a church president, a Cub Scout leader, and a compliance officer for the city. He was the kind of man who would help you jumpstart your car, the one who meticulously maintained his lawn, the pillar of his community. But beneath this veneer of respectability lurked a predator, a calculating killer who stalked and murdered 10 innocent people between 1974 and 1991. The Otero family, Joseph, Julie, Josephine, and Joseph II, were his first victims in January 1974, their lives brutally extinguished in their own home. It was a crime that sent shockwaves through Wichita, shattering its sense of security. The details were horrific, the motive unclear. Who could commit such an act, and why? Rader thrived on the anonymity his ordinary life provided. He was a master of manipulation, not just of his victims, but of the entire community and the police force hunting him. He would often taunt authorities with letters, poems, puzzles, and detailed accounts of his crimes, often addressing them directly to the media or law enforcement. This was not a plea for help. It was a hungry desire for recognition, a twisted form of celebrity. He wanted to be known, to be feared, but without revealing his true identity. Think about that for a moment. The sheer audacity, the chilling confidence of a man living a completely unremarkable life, while simultaneously orchestrating a reign of terror, taunting the very people sworn to stop him. How do you reconcile those two images? The helpful neighbor and the sadistic killer. The disconnect is profound, a terrifying glimpse into the dual nature of some individuals. His methods were meticulous, his planning extensive. Rader would often stake out his victims' homes for days, sometimes even weeks, studying their routines, identifying weaknesses in their security. He was patient, methodical, and utterly devoid of empathy. His victims were not people to him. They were objects of his dark fantasies. The psychological profile that emerged from the BTK killings painted a picture of a highly organized, ritualistic offender, someone who derived pleasure from the control he exerted over his victims. Yet, this profile seemed to contradict the image of the mild-mannered churchgoer. This paradox is at the heart of understanding these hidden monsters. They are not caricatures of evil. They are often disturbingly normal, which makes their crimes all the more terrifying. They exist in the shadows of our perception, camouflaged by the mundane. Years passed, and the BTK killings seemed to cease. The fear in Wichita began to recede, replaced by a lingering unease, a collective sigh of relief that perhaps the monster had gone. But Rader hadn't stopped. He had merely gone dormant, biding his time, perhaps enjoying the quiet satisfaction of having outsmarted everyone. Then, in 2004, after nearly 13 years of silence, BTK resurfaced. He began sending new letters, new taunts, reigniting the fear and the intense investigation. This time, however, law enforcement had new tools, new technologies at their disposal. The game had changed. The renewed communication provided investigators with fresh opportunities, new avenues to explore. This resurgence proved to be his undoing. The breakthrough came through a floppy disk Rader sent to a local TV station in 2005. He had asked if his previous communications could be traced, and the police, playing along, told him no. Believing he was safe, Rader sent the disk containing a document. Unbeknownst to him, metadata embedded in the document pointed to Dennis and the church he attended. This seemingly insignificant detail, a digital breadcrumb, was the first concrete link to the man behind the monster. A search warrant for his church computer confirmed he was the user. Further investigation, including DNA evidence from his daughter's pap smear, obtained with her consent and knowledge of the investigation, though not the specific purpose at the time, linked him directly to the crime scenes. The meticulously crafted mask began to crumble. On February 25, 2005, Dennis Rader was arrested. The news shocked the nation, but nowhere more profoundly than in Park City, Kansas, where he lived. His neighbors, colleagues, and fellow church members were utterly stunned. The man they knew, the quiet, unassuming family man, was the very monster who had terrorized their community for decades. The disbelief was palpable, the betrayal profound. How could they have been so wrong? How could they have missed the signs? The answer is simple, yet chilling. Rader was a master of deception. He understood the power of social conformity, the art of blending in. He exploited the human tendency to trust those who appear normal, those who fit the mold. This brings us to another unsettling case, one that highlights the insidious nature of these hidden predators. John Wayne Gacy. Often seen as the quintessential clown killer, Gacy was, for years, a respected member of his community in Norwood Park Township, Illinois. He was a successful businessman, a local political figure, and a beloved children's entertainer, known for his Pogo the Clown persona. He even volunteered at local events and charities. He presented himself as a pillar of the community, a benevolent, jovial figure. Yet, beneath the painted smile and the charitable exterior, Gacy was a sadistic serial killer and rapist, responsible for the deaths of at least 33 young men and boys between 1972 and 1978. Most of his victims were buried in the crawl space under his house, their remains discovered only after a persistent police investigation. Gacy's ability to maintain his facade was extraordinary. He hosted barbecues, invited neighbors over, and even had police officers at his house for community events. The stench of decaying bodies beneath his home was often dismissed as plumbing issues or other mundane explanations. The sheer audacity of his actions, knowing that his victims lay just feet beneath the floorboards, speaks to a profound level of psychopathy and a chilling confidence in his ability to deceive. The disturbing reality is that Gacy, like Rader, was not an outcast or a loner. He was deeply embedded in his community, participating in its rituals, earning its trust. This is the truly terrifying aspect of the monster next door. They are often the ones you least suspect. The investigation into Gacy began in earnest after the disappearance of Robert Piest in December 1978. Piest was last seen going to meet Gacy for a potential construction job. When Piest didn't return, his mother reported him missing, and the police quickly focused on Gacy. His erratic behavior, coupled with previous arrests for sexual assault, raised red flags. What followed was a painstaking and horrific excavation of Gacy's property, revealing the gruesome truth of his crimes. The discovery of multiple bodies shocked the world, forcing a painful reckoning with the idea that evil could wear such a friendly face. The implications were profound. If Gacy could hide such horrors, who else might be doing the same? If these stories have sent a chill down your spine, if they've made you question the faces you see every day, then you're experiencing the very essence of true horror. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss another deep dive into the darkest corners of human nature. These cases force us to confront uncomfortable questions about human nature and the societal structures we build around ourselves. How do these individuals develop such a profound disconnect from reality and empathy? What internal mechanisms allow them to compartmentalize their lives so completely? While there are no simple answers, profiling and psychological studies offer some insights. Many serial killers exhibit a lack of remorse, a grandiose sense of self-worth, and a tendency toward manipulation. They often possess a superficial charm that allows them to draw people in, to appear trustworthy and normal. This charm is a weapon, a tool for their predation. The context in which these killers operate is also crucial. The suburban landscape, often seen as a haven of safety and community, can paradoxically provide the perfect camouflage. The emphasis on privacy, the polite distance between neighbors, and the assumption of shared values can create an environment where unusual behavior might go unnoticed or be easily explained away. Who wants to believe that the seemingly kind man next door is a sadistic killer? It's a truth too horrifying to contemplate, and often our minds resist it until it is undeniable. Consider the case of Ted Bundy, another notorious serial killer who, for a time, was the epitome of charm and intelligence. He was handsome, articulate, a law student, and even worked at a crisis hotline. He cultivated an image of respectability and capability. Yet, beneath this captivating exterior lay a ruthless predator responsible for the murders of at least 30 young women in the 1970s. Bundy often used his charm and good looks to lure his victims, feigning injury or asking for help, exploiting their compassion. His ability to blend in, to appear utterly harmless, was central to his modus operandi. He wasn't a shadowy figure lurking in alleys. He was often the person you might strike up a conversation with at a bus stop or a university campus. The psychological journey of these individuals often begins long before their first crime. Childhood trauma, developmental issues, and inherent personality disorders are frequently cited as contributing factors, though not definitive explanations. The precise combination of nature and nurture that creates a serial killer remains a complex and often debated topic. What is clear, however, is that they learn to adapt, to mimic normal human emotions, to play a part in the grand theater of society. They are actors, performing the role of a functional human being, while their true selves remain hidden in the dark recesses of their minds. The role of religion and community involvement in some of these cases is particularly disturbing. Rader, as we discussed, was a church president. Gacy was involved in community politics. This involvement often serves a dual purpose for the killer. It provides a cover of respectability, further cementing their image as upstanding citizens, and in some cases, it may even offer a sense of control or power within a structured environment. The very institutions designed to foster morality and community become unwitting shields for unspeakable evil. This betrayal of trust is one of the most unsettling aspects of these cases, leaving lasting scars on the communities affected. The investigation and capture of serial killers like Rader, Gacy, and Bundy are often the result of tireless police work, forensic advancements, and sometimes sheer luck. But the lingering question remains: how many more are out there? How many individuals are currently living double lives, their monstrous secrets carefully guarded behind a veneer of normalcy? The truth is, we may never know. The very nature of their deception means they are designed to remain undetected. This uncertainty is perhaps the most terrifying aspect of all. It reminds us that evil does not always wear a recognizable face. It can reside in the most unexpected places, behind the most ordinary smiles. The legacy of these cases extends far beyond the victims and their families. They leave a collective trauma, a lingering sense of unease that permeates society. They force us to reevaluate our perceptions of safety, of trust, and of the fundamental goodness of humanity. They remind us that the human capacity for cruelty is boundless, and that sometimes the most dangerous monsters are not those we imagine in our nightmares, but those who live just a few doors down, waving hello, smiling politely, and harboring unimaginable darkness within their hearts. The monster next door is not a myth. It is a chilling reality, a stark reminder that true horror can often be found in the most ordinary of lives. And as the night deepens and the streetlights flicker, you might just find yourself glancing a little longer at the house across the street, wondering, just wondering, what truly lies beneath the surface.